Okay, I think we are live. I hope everything's all right. What's going on, guys? I've been trying to live stream more, so I figured I'd get on tonight and do a quick live stream, see what's going on with you guys. Talk about UFC Vegas 32, TJ Dillashaw versus Cory Sandhagen. Talk about whether or not TJ Dillashaw deserves a title shot. And there's also one narrative that's been going around. I've been seeing a lot of fighters saying it, a lot of people who are talking about the main event this weekend and specifically talking about TJ Dillashaw saying it. And it's a kind of a narrative that's really been bothering me and annoying me. So first I'll talk about that. So I keep seeing a lot of people saying, by the way, if you're watching this live or you're watching this in the future, make sure to like the stream. I really appreciate it. It helps grow the channel. So I've been hearing a lot of fighters, a lot of people doing the predictions for the fights. Whoever's talking about TJ Dillashaw versus Cory Sandhagen, this has been a line that I've heard multiple times over. And that's TJ Dillashaw owned up to cheating. And it's something really annoying to me because EPO, as far as I understand, is injectable only. You can only inject it into your body with a needle. So TJ Dillashaw didn't own up to it. He had no other route. He had no excuse. You're telling me if he had another excuse, oh, it was an accident, it was a tainted supplement, it was a cream, it was a whatever. You're telling me he wouldn't have, used that as an excuse? I really believe he would have. So I'm really sick of people saying, "Oh, TJ owned up to it, so I gotta respect him for that." I don't have any respect for him. The guy cheated, and he tried to take out an entire weight class while he was cheating. And then I think what really bothers me specifically about TJ, in his last fight, he lost to Henry Cejudo. He got dropped like 3 times over the span of 30 seconds, and the referee stopped it. And what my opinion was a tad early, but by no means was it egregious. And this guy threw an absolute fit. He said, that was stopped early and, it shouldn't have been stopped. I was going a single leg and every excuse in the book of how he was going to, come back and that he wasn't losing and he wasn't that badly hurt. All the while in the back of his mind, he knew I cheated when I took this fight. I was injecting a PED into my body before I took this fight. So if you guys hear anybody saying it, any analysis, any fighter, anybody talk, when they say he owned up to it, he had no other choice. He was caught. There was no excusing it away. Unless he says, you know, unless he says I accidentally fell on a needle, there's no excuse for it. So I'm not, it is what it is. He served his suspension, he got his punishment. Um, but what I'm saying is, stop acting like he did something noble here. He did not do something noble. He was caught red-handed. He had nothing else to do other than say that he did it because there was no other way out of it, and that's it. If he could have found an excuse, he would have. I can honestly forgive fighters with people they trust pressuring them to just take this and you'll be champion kind of stuff. But can't forgive TJ for what he did to that young guy on Tough. What did he do to a young guy on Tough? I must have missed this. Uh, and what he tried to do to the flyweight division. Exactly. What's going on, Cena? What's going on, Alex? I appreciate you guys joining. I appreciate you guys, uh, you know, adding in the chat. I really do appreciate it. But it's just crazy. This guy, if you guys remember, it's been 2 years now, so it's a little foggy. But the whole narrative of TJ Dillashaw going into that Henry Cejudo fight was I am going to kill the division. I am going down to shut down the flyweight division for Dana White. That was TJ Dillashaw's narrative. Meanwhile, he's hanging out at his gym, injecting something into his body. I just can't forgive that. And, we can move past it eventually. But for people to act like it was some type of, noble thing for him to say, oh, yeah, I did it, the only reason he even talked about it is so he could make up the excuse, well, I only did it to get down the flyweight. That's the only reason he talked about it. I keep forgetting every time I go to do these streams, I mean to go tweet out the link. By the way, if you guys have Twitter, go follow me on Twitter. The link is in the description. Alex, the fight needed to happen was him and Faber. Hold on one second, guys. I got to tweet this out real quick. I always mean to do it, and I always forget every single time. So, all right, let's get back to the discussion in the chat. By the way, if you guys have any questions, if it doesn't even have to be related to this, put it in the chat. The fight that needed to happen was him and Faber. I think I don't know how to put this because I did have interest in the fight, but at the same time, I have no interest in the fight because Faber's just too old at this point in time. I wanted TJ to come back and fight a killer, and I'm happy that he has to deal with Cory Sandhagen. And if he beats Cory Sandhagen, a lot of people, and the UFC is probably going to do it, they're going to call for him to get a title shot. And that's what I titled this video because I figured, I hadn't talked about this much recently, whether it be my breakdown and prediction, whether it be my live stream on Wednesday. But if he wins this fight, he should not get a title shot. I think if he gets a title shot after this, I think it's a slap into the face to all the fighters who aren't cheating, which who knows how many that is because it seems like everyone's getting busted nowadays. But I get that Cory Sandhagen would be a big win, and I get that TJ Dillashaw is a big name. But I think he should have to win at least 2 to 3 fights to get back to the bantamweight title. The bantamweight division is so stacked. There's so many great guys. I'm sure we can find people to fight for the title that is not TJ Dillashaw because, let's look it up real quick. I'm pulling up the UFC rankings real quick just for reference. I wouldn't mind seeing the winner of, you got Rob Font lingering out there. I wouldn't mind seeing Rob Font get a title shot. Or you could have the winner of Jose Aldo versus Pedro Munoz fight Rob Font for the next title shot because Aljamain Sterling and Peter Yan aren't fighting till later this year. So I don't know why my eye is itching so badly lately. So I just think the UFC can go so many other directions. I don't want to see TJ get a title shot. I just don't think he deserves it. He cheated. And what disturbs me also, and I talked about this a little bit in my prediction video, is if he was abusing for the majority of his career. Look at the life-changing and career-altering beatings he put on Renan Barão. Look at the career-altering KOs that he put on Cody Garbrandt. And imagine he was juiced in all 4 of those fights. And I know they went back and they tested some samples, but just because they have samples doesn't mean they got them at the right time. So from what I understand, EPO is very hard to detect. It's very hard to test for. It's very hard to catch because from what I understand, it's in and out of the system rather quickly. So who knows if he was actually cheating or not? We'll never know. He's never going to admit that, but he probably was. All right, let's see what else we got. I can't remember what his name was, but it was on the Ronda tape. One of the guys on there got concussed elsewhere after TJ was doing what Team Alpha Male was saying was really rough sparring. Had to end his career. I'll go find his name. Oh, he kneed him in the head at Team Alpha Male. Chris Holdsworth. Okay, I think I did hear about this before. What's going on, Blaze? Uriah got me into the sport back in the day, WEC days. That's awesome, man. I love Uriah Faber. Hi, what's going on, WGP? Appreciate you. Everybody, put questions in the chat. It can be about anything you want. I just titled the live streams something pertinent, and then we just kind of go off topic and talk about whatever we want anyway. So just fill the chat up with questions. 2 guys in the top 10, and if he wants sure title fight. Yes. I think he at least has to win 2 fights. I don't want to see him get a title shot after Cory Sandhagen. I think that'd be disgusting. The guy's just coming off a 2-year suspension. Basically, 1 fight and walks into a title shot now. But hopefully my prediction is right. Guys, my main event predictions for this year have been on point. Right now, I'm 19-4. So hopefully on Saturday, I'm 20-4. By the way, guys, I'm going to do a live fight stream tomorrow. So make sure you join me live tomorrow night, too. I've just been trying to stream more, so I wanted to do a stream tonight. The problem is there will be an interim champ before we get the Ian rematch, maybe. What's going on, Banny Zio? Appreciate you joining me. Jesus, tough 25. Cody was running around like a scrappy do. That's hilarious. What's going on, Mac? What's going on, Dante? WGP. Well, why does today suck? Bro, mine have been awful. I didn't keep count. I've been wrong on almost every thing since UFC 262. So I've been keeping track of my main event predictions for the entire year, as well as my title fight predictions. And right now I'm 19-4 in main events, and I am 8-3 in title fights. The 3 title fights I got was Peter Yan, which technically really shouldn't even count. Weili Zhang, and I can't remember the third one. What was the third one? What was the third one? I'm trying to think. So the title fights that have happened this year, guys, I should know this. I can't think. What was it? So it was Peter. Let me look it up real quick. I gotta look this up. I think I'm 8-3. UFC title fights. Let's see. UFC 259, 58. So 58 was the first title fight of the year. I got that right. I picked Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns. No, I got that. I picked Jan Blachowicz and Amanda Nunes. I picked Francis Ngannou. Let's see, UFC 261. I picked Kamaru Usman. I picked Weili Zhang, who lost. That's one of them, and I picked Valentina Shevchenko. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm 8-2. I picked Charles Oliveira. I picked Izzy. Oh, it was Davison Figueroa. It was Davison Figueroa versus Brandon Moreno, too. So, for my title fights, I got Davison Figueroa versus Brandon Moreno 2 wrong. I picked Davison. I got Peter Yan wrong when he got DQ'd against Aljamain Sterling. I don't know if you want to count that or not. And I got Weili Zhang wrong against Rose Namajunas. So, I think that's 8-3. I'm not 100% sure. I've been keeping track. I've been putting it in the description of all my prediction videos. But for my main event predictions, the ones I've gotten wrong, I picked Conor McGregor at UFC in January against Dustin Poirier. It was UFC 257, I believe. I got Derek Lewis versus Curtis Blades wrong. I got Cody Garbrandt versus Rob Font wrong. I picked Cody Garbrandt. And I picked Dan Ige over the Korean Zombie. So, there are my 4 predictions. I'm on a pretty good streak. I'm actually really happy with how I've done. You know, it makes me look like I know what the hell I'm talking about. All right, let's see what we got. Diaz Army. Tool Army loves Diaz. That's for sure. Stylebender Kamaru. It's been pretty nice year, though, with more likely fighters to win have something bad happen. Injuries to Aljo business. I know. That's why I'm so proud of my picks. Because it's not like they've been easy fights to pick. All these fights have been tough matchups. Like Jan Blachowicz, Adesanya, I picked Jan Blachowicz. A lot of people were picking Adesanya. Gilbert Burns versus Usman. I thought that was a toss-up. I almost picked Burns in that fight. Francis versus Stipe. That was a tough fight to pick. I picked Francis though. I just felt like he got just good enough, and Stipe had slowed down just enough that he was going to lose. And then you have Weili Zhang versus Rose. I mean, I picked Weili Zhang to beat her. I thought Rose would win the early rounds, but I thought she would start to fade and Weili would beat the brakes off her in the later rounds. Dillashaw going to get submitted, I think. That'd be awesome. Thanks for joining us. Take shelter. Let's see. Robbie Lawler will lose in the 4th round TKO. Moreno was one of the ones I got right. I'm pissed because I do my predictions on like a Monday or Tuesday usually, and I did it like Monday or Tuesday, and by Thursday I wanted to switch my prediction. I was seeing Davison Figueroa in the embeddeds, and he just did not look good at all. Let's see. I got Stipe Francis wrong. Yeah, that was a tough fight to pick. Logic said Stipe. I just felt like he got older, slower, and I felt like Francis was going to find that chin, and that's what happened. TJ Dillashaw is going to get put to sleep. I hope so. Baz, yo, what's up? I got a video for you to do. I think you might like it. What is that, my friend? Imagine Aljo wins against Yan. That would be sad and hilarious at the same time. I'm still hopeful for a new, better Stipe to come back. Yeah, but I don't know how true that's going to be. He's only getting older. What is going on, Ginge? For those of you who weren't here on Wednesday, Ginge was the first subscriber ever to send me a super chat. I am now monetized, so if any of you guys want to support the channel, you can send a super chat. There's like a, right next to where you type the message. You don't have to, but there's a little money symbol, and you can even send like $1. Ginge was the first ever. I'm going to remember it no matter how long my channel goes on. Ginge was the first ever to send me a super chat, and I'll always remember that, and I'll always appreciate it. And anything you guys send me, I always appreciate. It's going right back into the channel. So, the hardest hitter in every weight class from men's heavyweight to women's weight. And why do you think the fighter is the hardest hitter in the division? That's a decent idea. I might do that. It's hard, man. It's hard. It takes more time than you would think to do these videos because I don't script anything, but sometimes I gotta freshen up on some of these things, and sometimes I'm really bad at like not ranking, but like somebody asked me before, rank top 5 chins. It's hard to rank people's chins because there's some guys that just don't get hit. So how do we know what their chin's like? But I might do that. I was thinking about, how I just recently did the matchmaker for the lightweight division? I might go through divisions that don't have a lot of fights booked and just give you guys a fight that I think should happen for each, person in the top 10. Who in here is going to be in here tomorrow night for the TJ Dillashaw, Cory Sandhagen live stream? Let me know in the chat. Let's take a look. I'd like to see a video going through them, giving us your thought. Rank top 10 excuses made. Well, Conor McGregor would probably be the entire top 10. I'd like to see the video going through them, giving us your thought. Going through them. Are you talking about going through the top 10? I think that's what you're talking about. But yeah, there's a lot of divisions. Like if you look right now, let's go to welterweight. Kamaru Usman doesn't currently have a fight announced. I know what it's probably going to be. Same with Colby Covington, but I know what it's probably going to be. Gilbert Burns doesn't have a fight. Leon Edwards doesn't have a fight. Stephen Thompson doesn't have a fight. Michael Chiesa and Vicente Luque have a fight. Jorge Masvidal doesn't have a fight. Neil Magny doesn't have a fight. Bilal Muhammad doesn't have a fight. And Jeff Neal does not have a fight. All but 2 in the top 10 do not have a fight currently booked. So I could do these videos throughout the year when there's divisions that are just not booked up. Like right now, the entire top 10 at lightweight does not have a fight booked. Do you think there should be more divisions? I'd like to see something between middle and light heavyweight. So I'm a little bit weird with that. I hate change. So for right now, I don't want more divisions. I don't know if it would help or hurt, but I just don't like change. I'm just so used to what we have, and I'm scared. I'm really scared of change, especially with MMA, what's worked. So right now, I'm going to have to say no. I do not think there should be more divisions. But I get it. There's some guys that, would benefit from more divisions. And I know a lot of people want that 165 and then 175, 185, and then 205. I wonder what a 195-pound division would look like. Sorry, Joey, going on vacation tomorrow, but I'll watch afterwards. No problem, man. No problem. Are you still watching the fight? Are you going to be able to watch the fight or no? I'd be pissed if I was missing this. Where are you going on vacation? Does Shane Burgos give you Masvidal vibes? What do you mean? Of his looks? Or are you talking about his attitude? Not really. 80-pound division for Hezbollah. Hell, why not? Hell, why not? Why the hell not? Croatia. That's awesome, man. That sounds cool. Have fun. I hope you enjoy yourself. Are you going to be able to watch? You're not even going to be able to watch the fight at all, are you? Probably not. I used to refuse to go on vacation if there was a big pay-per-view fight. Because it used to be hard if you were on vacation somewhere. You used to not be able to really buy it anywhere. The way he fights and his attitude. Kind of the way he fights. Yeah, he fights kind of, I probably wouldn't either, by the way. Boxing has so many champions, so many classes, I can't keep up. That's my biggest fear, my friend. If it ends weight cutting, then bring in more divisions so fighters can fight at natural weight. Yeah, but I feel like fighters can already do that. I mean, think about it, unless, if you walk around at 190, 5 pounds, I feel like is natural weight. You lose 5 pounds, that's pretty much your natural weight. Or if you walk around at 195, you can bulk up 5 pounds, I feel like. I feel like there's enough divisions, but maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Is anybody, Ginge told me that bare knuckle boxing was on tonight. Is anybody actually watching that? Because I'm not. Can we get Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz on the card Nick fights on? That would be awesome. No, we cannot. I remember hearing years ago Nick and Nate said they never want to fight on the same card together. It looks like a few more fighters are coming to more natural weights like Bobby Knuckles. Yeah, and it seems like it works out for him. Look at Gilbert Burns. Look at Robert Whittaker. There's guys that are just moving up and doing spectacularly. Look at Frankie Edgar. I swear Frankie Edgar could go down at 125. And he used to fight at 155. So he's like the opposite of that. I'm trying to think of another example of that. Of people seem like they, fight at the more natural weight and it seems like they're doing great. I mean, Gilbert Burns is just such a great example. Michael Chiesa as well. Look at Michael Chiesa. If Zabit return fight with Shane Burgos, how would you feel that would go? I think Zabit would light him up. Maybe start to fade in the third round and Burgos would try to come after him. True or false, Gaethje is waiting out for the title fight? False. I think he's very adamant about getting his time in for his training camp. And he says the UFC is always offering him fights like 6 weeks out, 7 weeks out. And I think he said, don't quote me on this, but there is an interview where he says, he wants a full 10 or 12 week camp. And he's not ever taking another fight without getting the full time. I just joined, but how can TJ not go? How can he not fight for the title for the chance to become a 3-time champ? Because he's a cheater. He should have to win at least 2 or 3 fights in the division before fighting for a title. I don't think, coming back after a 2-year suspension, injecting something into his body, being a blatant cheater, and then people... And I know there's some new people joining right now. I went on a rant in the beginning of this live chat. And a narrative that's coming out right now, a lot of people, whether it's fans, whether it's people predicting the main event, whether it's people, talking about Dillashaw versus Sandhagen in general. I keep hearing a consistent narrative. TJ Dillashaw, I got to respect that he owned up to cheating. He took EPO, which is injectable only. He had no option other than come clean. There was no excuse that he could use other than unless he said, I slipped and fell on a needle. So I don't think he should get a pat on the back for, coming clean. He got caught. He didn't come clean. And I think what makes me sick is he complained about the stoppage. And I know that's really unrelated, but it just makes it look so much worse. So I think he should have to beat Cory Sandhagen and at least one more top-ranked fighter before getting a title shot. I don't think that's what's actually going to happen. It's just my opinion. And I thought it'd be interesting to put as the title of the video. But, we're just talking about whatever, so put your questions in the chat. Justin G would beat the dog stuff out of Chandler. He doesn't want that work, trust me. I think Gaethje would win. I favor Gaethje. But I think Chandler would try to take him down and submit him. And Chandler does have good wrestling and has good jiu-jitsu. So it'd be an interesting fight. At least TJ owned up and took accountability. Jones hasn't done that. Yeah, but he didn't have an option. Like, Jones had an option. He could make an excuse because he didn't get caught injecting something into his body. TJ was backed into a corner. And I get that Jones, looks like an idiot because he got caught cheating as well. But at least he has an excuse. He can have an excuse. There's no excuse. The stuff that Jones supposedly took, it can be mixed in with stuff, this or that, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that that's accurate. But I'm saying the only way TJ got the stuff that he had in his system was through a syringe, an injection. So there's no way out. He's backed into a corner. So what's he going to say? He can't say, "Oh, tainted supplement." He can't say, "I don't know where it came from." TJ was saying in an interview that EPO didn't even help him. He has such hard lies. What? How ridiculous is that? Um, did you see what Islam said to Chandler? Islam said to him, "Come from Bellator. I want to check your skills." Bellator, I want to check your skills. Okay, what is he trying to just call Chandler out? I wouldn't mind seeing that fight, but I want Gaethje versus Chandler. TJ was saying, oh yeah, I already read that. Islam would shut down Chandler. It would be mean to put him with grapplers back to back. Just let him bang. Now, I think the Chandler versus Islam fight would be competitive, and I would even favor Chandler in that fight. Islam just hasn't proven to me yet. He hasn't fought any top competition. The evidence just doesn't exist. What are your thoughts on people who think EPO should be legal in the UFC? I kind of get it, but at the same time, there's going to be some people who don't want to take it, and I don't think you should be forced to take a performance enhancer when just because other guys want it. But I get the people. I understand it, even though I don't like that. But I get people who are saying, let them juice up. Let's see what happens, But I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I want to see, guys who put in the work and see if they can become the best in the world. Rumor has it Tony Ferguson, his whole career, I'm not going to believe that just because folks tell lies. There's no evidence. So we can speculate about certain people all day long. There's so many people who have said, Kamaru Usman's cheating and Anthony Rumble Johnson is cheating and Paulo Costa is cheating. But unless we have evidence, there's really nothing we can say. Oliveira versus Dustin, how will it go? I really favor Charles Oliveira. I just think Dustin Poirier has taken a lot of damage. I think Charles Oliveira is just great everywhere. I think it's a tough fight, though. I'm not, confident picking either guy. So I think it's a really competitive fight. I'm excited for that fight. I can't wait for that fight. I think that's the fight that happens next. But I got Charles Oliveira. I just think he's a little bit better everywhere. Except maybe Dustin's a little bit more durable. But eventually that's going to give out on Dustin. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to say to the ref, protect yourself at all times. Very true. Somebody, I seen a comment online that had me laughing hysterically. And anybody who plays the game GTA is going to know what I'm talking about. It was on Josh Fabia, Diego Sanchez's coach, guru. It was on an interview with him, and somebody commented on it. Josh Fabia sounds like one of those crazy talk show host guests on GTA Radio, Grand Theft Auto Radio, which I thought was hilarious. I can't advocate for athletes smashing their bodies with performance enhancers after seeing Mark Kerr. Yeah, I don't think they should. I don't think it's right. Tony Ferguson type of guy to do comedy to improve his stand-up. I completely agree. Okay, thank you, Matt. Thank you guys for joining me, by the way. Don't forget to like the stream. What's your knockout of the year so far? That's a tough one. I know this isn't going to be popular, but maybe Charles Oliveira. Just because of the way he was down in the first round. But also, you could go with Sandhagen versus Frankie Edgar as well. That was a great knockout. God, I'm so glad Diego wised up and got out of here. By the way, what is your guys' favorite knockout of this year? Put it in the chat right now. There's been so many great ones. Let's see. But yeah, I'm super happy Diego wised up and got out of there. I mean, everyone could see that, and I've known it. I've seen it. I know it's really got talked about in the last 6 months or so. But I was aware of that for over a year now. How weird that was. Usman is Dante. Oh, Usman versus Masvidal too. That was crazy, man. Usman just slept him brutally. That was one of the most brutal KOs. Oh yeah, also Rose's head kick of Whaley. JJ, what's going on, my friend? My favorite KO of the year was Dustin knocking out Big Mouth McGregor. That was a good one, too. That was a good one, too. Caught so off guard. Will Khabib ever forgive Conor for what he did to him mentally? I don't think Khabib cares anymore. I think he just dislikes the guy enough just to not talk about him. He doesn't want to give him any shine because Khabib's a very smart person. You can just tell. I think Charles is about to go on a run. I think he beats Justin, Dustin, Beneil, Islam, or Chandler. Are you asking me or are you saying that? I think Charles, if I had to pick someone to beat Charles Oliveira, I'd go probably Justin Gaethje. But maybe Dustin too. Khabib's father already forgave Conor. Anyone in the top 5 really knows he's the man. I don't think he cares anymore. Exactly. I think Khabib really doesn't like Conor, but not enough where he thinks about it, but just where he actively avoids talking about him because he doesn't want to give him any shine because he knows that gets to Conor. Okay. Charles destroys Conor with ease. Yeah, I agree. And I've been saying that. I think everyone in the top 10 pretty much destroys Conor, even before he broke his leg. Conor's a guy who, if he faces adversity, he just packs it in. And I know people disagree with that, but it's just what I see. If the guy does not walk in and get a destruction, or actively see a guy fading, he's done. I think Nate Diaz beat him in that second fight. I rewatched it recently. It was clear as day to me. What are you smoking, Joey? Charles would have a field day with Justin. I didn't say I would favor Justin. I just think if somebody has the best chance, it would probably be Justin, in my opinion. Because Charles doesn't have the same level of threat for the takedown. If Oliveira gets Gaethje down, he's submitting him immediately. But can Gaethje keep it standing? Charles isn't the same threat as Khabib is. Facts, Torin. I'm not trying to be the Islam hype, but I think it's his belt. Charles is just holding on to it. Well, we'll see. A lot of people agree with you, my friend. Willows, what's going on, man? I hope you're doing well. I even think Tony Ferguson can beat Conor. Exactly. It's the same story with Conor time and time again. If he doesn't get you out of there in the first round, do you know what Tony Ferguson would do to him if Conor started to get tired? Tony would walk him down and brutalize him. I love Nate, but I don't know about him winning the second from what I remember. Go back and rewatch it. Because I'm telling you, I thought live that Nate watched it. I rewatched it a couple times, and I thought Nate won it, and I rewatched it recently because I thought, okay, maybe now, I'll rewatch it and think differently. Because that's happened to me before. I've watched fights. I've thought one thing, then years later I watch them, and I'm like, wait a second, this is not what I remember. Yeah, if you get a chance, just rewatch it. Justin's got the chance with his left. Great equalizer. Exactly. Also, his leg kicks. Also, he's going to be able to stuff some of Charles Oliveira's takedowns. And if Gaethje catches you like Chandler caught him, I think Gaethje's putting him to sleep. Gaethje has nasty power. The funny thing is, and also Gaethje isn't going to fade. The funny thing is about the lightweight division, you don't really know who's the undisputed champ is. Justin, Dustin, Oliveira, Islam. I believe these guys can beat on each other any given day. That's pretty accurate. I mean, I favor Charles over everyone, but I get what you're saying. It would not surprise me of any of them beating each other. I've always thought Tony Ferguson was a very bad matchup for Conor. I'm not saying because Conor is on a losing streak. I agree with you. Tony is Conor's absolute nightmare. Tony has a granite chin and unlimited cardio. Doesn't get much worse than that. Let's see. Joey, top 5 weight bullies in the roster currently. Top 5 weight bullies. I'm assuming you mean they're big for their weight class. See, I'm terrible with this. I'm literally terrible with this. Davison Figueroa, for sure. Bantamweight doesn't really have a guy. Bantamweight, all of the guys really belong at the weight class, in my opinion. Featherweight. See, I'm terrible at these top 5 questions. Let's go to lightweight. Who is big for lightweight? See, I think most of those guys belong. Yeah, I think most of those guys belong at lightweight too. I think Usman's a huge welterweight, though. It seems like it. Paulo Costa at middleweight for sure. Alexander Rakic at light heavyweight. Alexander Rakic is huge. So there you go. There's the best answers I could give you to the best of my ability. I think the lightweight division, any one of the top 4 or 5 could beat any other on their day. It's nothing like when Khabib was champ. Its difference was apparent. Yeah, I agree with you. Charles has hands too, Joey. He would get strikes in on Justin. I know. I am the biggest Charles Oliveira believer. So don't. I'm just saying if I had to pick somebody. So I'm the biggest Charles Oliveira believer. So don't think I'm not saying that. Sean O'Malley, I don't know. Sean O'Malley's really skinny. He's really tall, but he's really skinny. Jorge beats Conor, I'm sure. I agree with you 100%. For me, all the Dagestanis, Aljo, Ngannou, Usman, Holloway, Figgy, Costa, Nunes. Yeah, Nunes is a big 135 woman. I didn't even think of that just because she's always been there. Did you see Sean O'Malley got a 6'9" tattoo? God, I can't stand that guy, but he's such a good fighter. Yeah, he's actively annoying on purpose. Sean O'Malley is a weight bully at bantamweight. He walks around at like 170. Okay, I didn't know that. Dustin is pretty big for lightweight, and he was big for featherweight. Yeah, he was huge for featherweight. Conor at 45 was huge, too. What's going on? Keep out. I hope you're doing well. Charles has good leg kicks as well. I know. You're preaching to the choir, my friend. Charles Oliveira is great everywhere. I've been a believer in Charles Oliveira long before he even got the lightweight strap. I was the guy, you guys even heard me talking about it before. My dream fight was Charles Oliveira versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. What's up? Guys, put some more questions in the chat. And if anybody wants to send me the first super chat of my second live chat, feel free. Even if it's $1, help support the channel. I always appreciate it. Ginge was the first one ever to send a super chat. So, but no matter what, put more questions in the chat. I appreciate it. Seeing the fighters all sunken up before a fight is awful. Do you remember the way Conor used to look at 145? He looked awful. He looked terrible. I mean, he looked like a zombie. And then when he went up to 170, because he was supposed to fight RDA at 155, but then he fought Nate at 170, he looked so much better. Apparently, Dustin wanted their rematch at 170, or their trilogy at 170. Seeing the fighters... Okay, I already read that. Who's your dream fight for Tony Ferguson? Nate Diaz or Conor McGregor? Both my dream fights. Absolutely love those fights. Aljo is huge at bantamweight, though. To be honest, so is Holloway. I don't know if Holloway's all that huge. When he went up, and the reason I say that is, I don't know, but when he went up and fought Dustin Poirier, he looked small as hell. And his strikes just did not look, like Dustin even was fazed by him. John Jones was taller than most opponents, and his reach was mostly longer than his opponents. Yeah, that's true. O'Malley is like Conor 100, just jumped in and is Dillashaw going to win? No, Dillashaw is not going to win. I'm picking Cory Sandhagen. But if Dillashaw does win, I don't think he deserves a title shot. I did a full prediction video. Keep out. Go check it out when I'm done this live chat. Hang out here. When you're done, go check out my full prediction video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, those of you that did watch it. And also, now if you watch my videos, since my channel's monetized, you're helping support the channel even more. So make sure you go watch the videos. What are we thinking about Lawler Diaz? I think that for me, I think it's a fun fight. I think it was the matchup to make, and I think it's a fun fight for the fans. But for me, it's hard to pick. Nick Diaz coming in on a 6-year layoff. So I think Lawler beats him, but I could see that fight going either way. But for right now, I'm picking Lawler, and I'm sure I'm picking Lawler probably when the fight comes up. Jones wasn't taller than Dominic Reyes. Yeah, it was pretty close. Ginge, look at Ginge coming through, man. Man, I swear, I know it sounds crazy, but that donation, man, I appreciate it. You did it in the first chat. Now you're doing it in the second chat. Every little bit is helping support the channel. I'm going to buy a new microphone soon. I'm buying the Shure SM7B, I think it's called. It's like $400, but the whole setup with everything you need is like $800. So every dime that gets donated to my channel through Super Chat is going towards the channel. So the channel's only going to get better. I'm aiming for 10K subscribers soon. I know that sounds like a big goal, but I'm aiming for 10K subscribers soon. I love doing this channel. I love talking to you guys on these live chats. And Jen, you look at me right now. You look at me right in the eyes right now. I appreciate it, my friend. I really do. It means a lot, man. Every little bit. It's not only about weight and height. Reach matters too. Very true. I can care less about Lawler Diaz. I'm just excited. I'm not really excited, but I just think it's a decent fight for the card, rather than some like irrelevant fight. At least we get to see Diaz return. I'm always interested to see guys' returns after a long layoff. Max Holloway is a big featherweight. He looks small at lightweight because he hasn't had time to build the muscle before to keep the muscle mass down. True, he did kind of take that on late notice. I gotta blow my nose, guys. Let me set that over there. Keep the questions coming, guys. Keep the questions coming. As long as we have questions, I will continue the chat. As long as we have some questions, I will continue the chat. So, if TJ wins, who's next? And does he run it back with Cody? Who's next? Who is next? That's a good question. That is a very good question, guys. So I don't want to see him fight for the title. I've already made that blatantly clear throughout this stream. So who would I want to see him fight next? I don't think he's fighting Cody. I think he could fight Cody in the future, but right now it's not happening. Cody's going down to flyweight. Supposedly he's going to fight Kai Kara France. By the way, Ginge, real quick, I wanted to give you something for your super chat. We're dumb. That's an inside joke, by the way. Okay, who does he fight next? I wouldn't mind seeing him fight the winner of Jose Aldo and Pedro Munoz. Or maybe he runs it back with Dominic Cruz. All right, I got to dip for now and get some sleep. Have a good one tomorrow. Have a good one, brother. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Cena, for joining the chat. I really do appreciate it. Or Senna, however you say it. Will do, brother Hunter. Just hit the like button. Sandhagen is my pick as well. Thank you, man. Thanks for every video you watch is helping support the channel. Dominic Reyes is only a guy at 205 who gave Jones a run for his money. Everyone else looked like scrums. Thiago Santos did on 2 bad knees. But look what happened to Dominic Reyes since, which is crazy. Which is crazy, my friend. If he had more time at 155, he could easily bulk up to Dustin's size. Look at Dustin at featherweight and look at him now. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, he didn't really have enough time to, get properly to the weight. I'm bummed about Aspen Ladd's fight getting canceled against Macy Chiasson, I think is how you pronounce it. Withdrawal for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why. How did she get injured 2 days out from the fight? I know I say this every chat, but the hardest part about doing these chats is talking for so long. My throat constantly gets dry. But I'm bummed too. That was a decent fight on the card. Aspen Ladd's been out forever, so you got to feel bad for her. And it sucks. Do I play UFC games? I used to play UFC 1, EA Sports UFC 1 religiously. UFC 1 through... So UFC 1, EA Sports, I used to play religiously. Then UFC 1 through 3 from THQ back in the PS2, PS3 days, I used to play religiously. But since then, not really. I bought UFC 4, and it was I didn't like the game at all. Yeah, Max, who's the best fighter to never win a belt? Okay. I have a very easy answer for this question. And it came to my mind as soon as I read that question. There's no thinking about it. I have a guy, and I think I've mentioned him on the channel before. that I believe is not only the best guy to never win a belt, I think he may be the GOAT of a weight class, a UFC weight class, GOAT. And a lot of people are going to call me crazy. I'm saying he may be. I'm not saying that the argument is concrete. And I'm going to tell you who that is in a second. But first, I'm going to pull up his resume so I can give you some facts to back this up. So, the answer to your question, who is the best fighter to never win a belt? I believe it's Yoel Romero. I think he is such a great fighter, and he may very well be the middleweight GOAT. And I know people are going to crucify me. Anderson's the middleweight GOAT. Yoel Romero never even won a belt, let alone defend it. While Robert Whittaker was injured constantly, Yoel Romero was fighting the toughest of the tough. He was arguably the champion while Robert Whittaker was sitting out. Look at some of these names that he fought arguably in this prime, arguably in their prime or close to it. Lyoto Machida back in 2015. Jacare Souza back in 2015. Chris Weidman back in 2016. All these guys, I know people are going to think in 2021 they're not in the UFC, they're bombs, whatever. But these guys were solid elite middleweight fighters at the time. Then he lost to Robert Whittaker in a close decision. Then he beat Luke Rockhold, who Luke Rockhold in 2018 was a great fighter, was a great fighter. Then you have the rematch with Robert Whittaker. He arguably wins again, split decision. I know he lost technically. Okay, split decision though. Then he loses to Paulo Costa in a very close fight as well. He could have easily won that fight. And then he loses to Israel Adesanya. And this is not the hill I want to die on, but he could have easily got the decision against Israel Adesanya. He could have easily. That's not the hill I want to die on because neither guy did very much at all. But you could make an argument that Yoel Romero is undefeated in the UFC middleweight division. I know people are going to think I'm crazy, but I'm just saying you can make the argument. I'm not saying it's an open and shut case, but you can make that argument. So there's your answer. I hope you got your money's worth for that question. Your personal opinion is Gustafsson. I don't know. Gustafsson, as good as he was elevated from one loss off of John Jones. And look what John Jones did to him in the rematch. TJ would beat the sleeves off Cody again. Fight won't go any different. Dillashaw is a bad matchup for the kid. I don't know. I think Cody could make adjustments and win. He should fight Yan. Are you talking about TJ Dillashaw? Diaz trained students, so do you believe he has ring rust? I think it's possible for anyone to have ring rust. Reyes nosegaves up on him. I mentioned that in my last prediction video when he fought Yuri Prochaska. I picked Prochaska, and I said Dominic Reyes' nose is done. Reyes is just, his nose is giving out on him. I reckon Reyes beat Jones and Gustafsson bet Jones. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. Sorry, my friend. TJ's a cheater. I don't think he deserves a title shot ever again. Personally, the way he made jokes about cheating when he fought Cody and played it off like alpha male was just jealous of him. Yeah, also, I don't know if you were here, Devin Moons, or Mouse, or whatever you say it. Months would probably have said. Not only that, there's so many things, that bothers me about TJ. The fact that he complained about the stoppage. Remember how much he was complaining about that stoppage? And he knew damn well he cheated. The fact that he was trying to shut down the flyweight division, disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. The narrative going in that fight from him, he said, I'm going down to get rid of the flyweight division. And he was cheating to do such a thing. So, disgusting. No wonder he was so adamant he wanted to fight Mighty Mouse Johnson. So, I agree with you. That pisses me off a lot. Exactly. I agree. I didn't even see that message. Hey, what's going on, Edson? I appreciate you joining the chat. Romero, my thoughts exactly. I can't wait to read these messages because I'm a little bit behind right now while I'm reading these messages. Romero, okay, he lost twice to Robert. I already made my reasons for that. Definitely championship caliber, could have hanged with anyone from any era. Yeah, and he easily could have been the champion at multiple times, but because he missed weight, he didn't get the shot, I think when he fought Luke Rockhold, that was for the belt, or the interim belt, and when he fought Whittaker the first time, it was for the interim belt. And he just took out all the toughest guys. He was defending the belt even when he wasn't champion. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. Let me know in the chat if that makes sense. He was like the uncrowned champion. He was fighting off all the top guys that were arguably in line for the title shot at the time. Yo was good, and he would have been in. Okay, see? There you go. I didn't even see that message, and I was just talking about it. So what's your thought on Dana calling Colby a loudmouth on the Usman versus Colby fight? I mean, I think he's right. Dana says he doesn't care. He'll say whatever he wants. That was a murderer's row at the time. See, thank you, my friend. Robert Whitaker won the fight against Izzy. My feelings. I don't know. I picked Whitaker the first time they fought, but I don't know if I could pick him again. I meant scrubs, not scums. Hey, what's the argument? I'm not sure where you came in at, so you're going to have to give me more information to that. Wasn't Anderson Silva cheating? Exactly. Chael Sonnen cheating. A lot of guys cheating. It's like, okay, mounts. Bounce, mounts. So there you go. Thank you, mounts. And by the way, Devin, thank you for commenting on my videos. Thank you for watching my videos. It really helps support the channel. I really appreciate it. I always see you in the comments, so I always appreciate that. A lot of people, because I always ask for people's opinions in videos, and I genuinely like hearing it. I try to respond to most comments. Sometimes the way the YouTube notification system works, it screws me, and I miss out on comments or replies because the notification system sucks. But I do always see you in the comments, so man, I really appreciate the support on the videos. A lot of people during Silva's era were juicing. That was before they had strict testing measures. Yeah, they only got tested on fight night, I believe, and after the fight. No matter how many times TJ and Cody fight, TJ will always come out on top. I would disagree with you. I think Cody could beat him, but who knows? Do you think Islam Makhachev will be champion in 2022? I'm going to say no. Anderson was probably juicing back then, too. He failed tests. He failed Nick Diaz. Yeah, Anderson, when he failed, he really broke my heart. He really broke my heart. He's one of my favorite fighters. I don't know what to say. It sucks. Does McGregor get special privileges inside the cage when it comes to doing dodgy, illegal stuff and constantly get away with it? I will say yes, but I don't think it's a calculated thing. I think it's almost like the referees they know how big the fight is, and it's almost like it stresses them out, and they just end up letting them get away with stuff they shouldn't let them get away with. I mean, he cheated so many times in the Khabib fight; it was ridiculous. Herb Dean needed to be talked to about that. I mean, it was probably 10 to 15 infractions. But I think what goes on in MMA and really drives me nuts is guys aren't punished enough for cheating. You know, if they started taking points away when you grab the fence, even if it didn't make that much of a difference, guess what? People would stop grabbing the fence. So I think McGregor does get special treatment, but I think it's a broader error with the refereeing. Hot take: Luke Rockhold in the Weidman fight is the greatest middleweight ever. I was very high on Luke Rockhold. I picked Luke. I wish I had a YouTube channel, guys, because I know I can say this shit, but you guys probably think, oh, he's just saying this shit. I literally picked Luke Rockhold by destruction of Chris Weidman. I said Luke Rockhold has the best top game in the entire UFC at the time he fought Weidman. I said if he can get Weidman down, he is going to beat the brakes off of him. And sure enough, that's what he did. Rockhold is a solid guy. I think if Rockhold wasn't chinny, I think Rockhold is a nightmare matchup for Israel Adesanya. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that one. But I kind of agree with you, man. Kind of. I'm not 100% on the greatest, but definitely one of the best. I believe Gleison Tebow was on that juice too because he was unusually big and muscular for a lightweight fighter. Who knows? Who knows, man? Remember that lightweight fighter from Canada named TJ Grant? Yes. The mysterious disappearance of TJ Grant. For those of you guys who don't know, thank you for reminding me, Toro Brown. I want to talk about that on my channel. So if you're a newer fan, I'm going to tell you a very interesting story. So Jose Aldo was scheduled to fight Anthony Pettis before Anthony Pettis was ever a champion in the UFC. Anthony Pettis, the lightweight division was kind of log jammed a little bit, and he said, you know what, I'll go down and fight Jose Aldo. There's no one else ready to fight Jose Aldo. And he was scheduled to fight Jose Aldo in the beginning of a month. Something happened with Pettis where he was going to be out. I don't know if it was a cut in sparring or something. He was going to be out, and he was going to miss the Jose Aldo fight. But Benson Henderson, the lightweight champion at the time, was supposed to fight TJ Grant at the end of the same month. I think it was August. I don't know why I remember that, but it was the end of August. So Anthony Pettis was supposed to fight Jose Aldo in the beginning of August. TJ Grant was supposed to fight Benson Henderson for the lightweight belt at the end of August. Pettis fell out of his featherweight fight. TJ Grant fell out of his lightweight fight. Pettis said, I can be ready for the lightweight fight, and he stepped in and fought Benson Henderson. So there was this massive conspiracy theory that the UFC paid TJ Grant to step aside because they wanted the more marketable Anthony Pettis to step in there and fight. And Anthony Pettis stepped in and beat Benson Henderson to win the championship. And there was this massive controversy that they paid TJ Grant because TJ Grant isn't marketable. TJ Grant never fought again. He had devastating concussion-like symptoms, and he decided he never wanted to return to fighting. They lingered around for months, and he said, I'm never fighting again. He was one of the best lightweights back in the day. He finished Gray Maynard, who was an absolute stud at the time, and because of those symptoms, he just disappeared forever, and he was never to fight again, which is absolutely crazy. He was on the cusp, and he had a legitimate chance to beat Benson Henderson for the lightweight title. On the cusp of the UFC lightweight title to never fighting again. Absolutely crazy. All right, let's see what else we got. Guys, keep the questions coming. So are there any loudmouths like Colby in the middleweight division? Kevin Holland. There you go. But not as bad as Colby. Let's be honest. Why is Conor not the best fighter of all time? He's never defended a belt. What is Ginge saying LOL about? I'm behind. Remember that lightweight fight? Okay, I already talked about that. I think Luke Rockhold could be the best again. He just lost his way. He started to think he was the best and stopped training. DC and Habib used to give him hell for not training like he should. Funny story. I've told this on one of my first live streams on the channel. I had a feeling Bisping was going to beat Luke Rockhold. Not because I thought Bisping was better, because I thought Luke Rockhold was too cocky. And I bet on Bisping to knock out Luke Rockhold. I had a friend of a friend was in Vegas, and I think I had him put $200 down to bet Bisping by knockout. And the winnings was going to be something like $3,500 or something like that. And the worst thing that happened was they said, well, if you parlay it, which means you make two bets. I don't know much about betting. This is the last time I've even done a bet. If you parlay it with Faber beating Dominic Cruz, I could have won like $10,000. I don't remember what the exact numbers were, but I'm kind of guessing here what it was. It was an extreme amount of money. So I said, you know what? I'll parlay them both. So Faber had to beat Cruz, and then Bisping had to knock out Rockhold, and I would have won like $10,000 for like $200 worth of betting. Something crazy like that. I don't remember the exact numbers. And of course, Faber lost by decision. And then Bisping gets the KO. I was pissed I didn't just stick to my original bet. I still have a picture of the bet slip. But I think Rockhold could have been great. I think he's just not defensively responsible enough. With Big John, you can't grab nothing. Well, Big John doesn't do it anymore. Hot take, Conor's the best of all time. Yeah, that is a hot take. People who cheat with steroids should be stripped of the record books of their wins and championships. What do you think? I agree, man. I agree. Especially if it's an open and shut case like you're injecting. Also, someone let me know, and I could not remember. But technically, TJ Dillashaw vacated his belt. I mean, come on now. He should have technically, in the record books, it should go down as he was stripped. You know, it was one of those things where you can't fire me because I quit. You know, he vacated the belt. He should have been, it should be technically talked about as if he was stripped of the bantamweight title. Bye, Dante. I'll see you tomorrow night. Or enjoy your vacation, I think. Keep the questions coming, guys. I'm trying to catch up to all the questions right now. Baz, you missed mine. Well, resend it, my friend. Unless I answered it. I don't remember what it was. I'm trying to catch up. Are you excited about Bellator 263? Pitbull versus McKee is going to be really good. I don't know who will win this one. Yeah, I'm excited. It's one of the best fights that Bellator can put on. McKee making his way up the rankings, fighting Pitbull, who's been an established name for a while. I'm really excited for that fight. What's going on, Tanver? What's going on? TJ Grant was on a huge winning streak. Yep, I already covered that. A good example of true juice head would be Sean Shirk in the War of the Hammer. TJ Grant also slaughtered Evan Dunham. TJ Grant's striking was pretty good, and he had decent knockout power. Do you think Khabib will train Zabit? Do you think Khabib will train Zabit for his return? I have no idea. I haven't really paid attention to that stuff. I was LOL at some giving it McGregor the GOAT nonsense. Aldo was never the same since Conor lost. Was he on the juice or not? I think Aldo has looked good. I don't think Aldo was on the juice. Don't forget how Luke take down Real Bull. I'm missing something. I asked you to watch many times. I'm missing something here. Yeah, he vacated. I know it was one of those scenarios where you can't fire me, I quit. I'm not going to be stripped, I vacate. He should have been stripped technically because he got caught cheating, and he was suspended for 2 years. But if that makes him feel better, Khabib and Zabit aren't in the same camp. Yeah, I didn't even know that. I didn't think they were, but I don't know if they're friends or not. What's your thoughts on Paddy Pimblett? I'm not super familiar. I know who he is, but I'm not super familiar to really give an educated answer on that. Why won't Dana sign Dylan Dennis? Hire him and Colby would be fire at press conference. I can't stand Dylan Dennis, so I hope he doesn't. Would you like Ian Heinisch versus Imavov? Yeah, Dennis is signed to Bellator. I did forget that too. Thank you for filling me in. I forget about that type of stuff. I think that'd be a decent fight. Heinisch is a legit guy. He's kind of one of those guys lingering around the top 15, maybe just barely out of it. But that'd be a fun fight. Remember Melvin Gillard? Yes, I do. He had a lot of potential, and he never lived up to it. Remember he used to dye his hair blonde? Does anybody remember that? If anybody who's watching this stream right now is not subscribed, make sure you go subscribe. If anybody in this stream right now has not liked the stream, please do me a favor and like the stream. I really do appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. Let's see. Okay, Patty's legit. He had a good run at Cage Warriors. Yeah, well, maybe we'll see him. I wonder how long. Yeah, I don't know. See, I don't know enough. So, how long until? Does anybody have any information? Like, see, it's hard to gauge that type of stuff until he makes his way to a more of like a Bellator, UFC, or PFL. Heinisch has been in and out of jail for selling ecstasy. I picked him to win, though. I don't know about that decision. Yeah. I don't like Patty. I hope he loses badly. And Heinisch versus Gastelum. Do you guys remember that fight? It was terrible. That fight was absolutely terrible. For some reason, I don't know what it was about it. I did not enjoy Kelvin Gastelum versus Ian Heinisch. Who in here is going to be there tomorrow for the live stream watch along? Okay, so he did sign with the UFC. Well, now I have to brush up on him. It's hard to keep up with all these fighters, man. It's hard. I try my best. Sam Stone Stout, Spencer the Kingfisher, Tyson Griffin, Thiago Tavares, the OGs of the 155-pound division. Yeah, I remember Sam Stout. What's your stance on Jake Paul? Because he started to grow on me a bit. I like the trolling. So, I don't really talk about it on my channel, but if somebody asks me in the live chat, I usually answer. I don't enjoy the freak show fights. I just don't. It's just not something that entertains me. I don't watch it. I did not watch Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. I didn't watch any of these Paul brothers boxing matches. I'm just not into that type of stuff. I know some people are, so I don't talk about it at all. But I do like some of the stuff that he's saying about fighter pay and the fact that he's going after Dana White about fighter pay. Because there's very few people that have that voice that are able to say that type of stuff without repercussions. And the Paul brothers are one of them. So I think it's kind of funny. For as much as people talk shit about him, myself included, I think that, he's clearly a smart guy. I mean, they're doing good business. They picked out Ben Askren, so he knew I can say I knocked out a former UFC fighter. And then he picks out Tyron Woodley so he can potentially say, I knocked out a former UFC champ. But he's strategically picking these fighters. But I think it's funny what he's doing to Conor. I think it's funny the remarks he's made on fighter pay. But other than that, I'm not too into the freak show fights. I never have been. It's just not my cup of tea. Sorry, I'm losing my spot. Keep the questions coming, guys. Keep the questions coming. Testing is so intense and more often so. Is that why fighters are leaving or saying injuries is why they don't compete? I don't know, because they can be randomly tested even if they don't have a fight coming up. Why does Dan Hardy keep posting pictures like he's getting ready for a fight? Like, relax, you ain't got no more. Apparently, UFC let him go finally from his contract. So maybe he will fight for another organization. I don't know. But I don't care to see it. He's so old now. Yeah, Highness vs. KG was bad performance by Gastelum, but his raw talent still allowed him to win the fight. Agree with your analysis. Pimlet got Luigi Vendrama on September 4th in London. Well, thanks for the information. I keep reading his name as Pimple. I don't know why. Logan is rumored to be fighting Anderson Silva. I won't be watching. Patty Pimlet claims he can't be knocked out because his mom used to throw him on his head. Maybe so. I can just envision Derek Lewis putting Gane out cold in round 2. Or round 4. Derek Lewis has power for all 4 rounds. Guys, do me a favor. Keep the questions coming, as many as possible. I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick during this live stream. I want you guys to keep an eye out to see if you see any ghosts behind me. But put as many questions as you can think of in the chat. I'll only be gone for 1 minute. I got a bathroom right outside the door. All right, let's see. I just read a message, but I'm just going to scroll back up and get back. I can envision Derek Lewis putting Gane out cold in round 2. Derek Lewis is always losing until he's not. He's got crazy knockout power. How do you feel about Guy Anderson signing to do boxing match with Logan Paul? Personally, I wish he wouldn't lower himself to this type of spectacle. Yeah, I agree with you, but at the same time, if he's going to get paid, why not? Dan Hardy has been talking about coming back for a while. I know, it's been constant for years. Just need an interpreter to translate. Derek Lewis will lose to Gane. Yeah, who knows? I will be along for the fight tomorrow. Thank you. Keep out. If Nick beats Robbie, I think him and Hardy fight. No, Hardy's released from the UFC. Hardy's only 46, not that old, but old in terms of MMA. Is your house haunted? No, Ginge. I was just saying, there's empty room with a camera pointed. You guys got to keep an eye out. How do you think Magomed Ankalaev versus Vladimir will go? Probably Ankalaev will get it. I like Ankalaev. I think he has great skills. I thought he was going to lose. Hold on, he's fighting. Hold on, who's he fighting? Is he fighting Ozdemir, you mean? Who's Vladimir? Am I missing something here? Isn't he fighting Ozdemir? Let me look this up real quick because now I'm confused. Magomed. I think he's fighting Ozdemir. Yeah, Vulcan. I like Ankalaev. I think Ozdemir is a guy who is a little bit too reckless. I like Ozdemir, but I think Ankalaev will get it done. $10 says he shakes it more than once. Okay, you win. Yeah, the odds on Lewis for the fight are insane. I think Gane is going to use his speed, but he doesn't have the power to hurt Lewis. He doesn't have the power that we've seen yet. Who do you think is left at 125 for Valentina to fight? They were hyping Macy Barber, but she's obviously not ready. Macy Barber would get demolished. I don't know who's left, my friend. I don't know who's left. There's nobody. I know people are going to say maybe Tatiana Suarez, but she has a lot to show before then. So I really think there's nobody left. I mean, she's fighting Lauren Murphy next. Ugh. Nah, man. I think he will swing and land on Cyril Gane's chin and put him out in Houston as well. Infections crowd. Gane cannot sit on the perimeter. I think if I had to give an early prediction, I think Gane is going to look for takedowns. If early prediction, I want you guys to remember this. Early prediction. I might change my mind. Gane by submission. Gaslam is another middleweight that is a champion without the belt. I don't know about that. How do you feel after the bathroom? I feel great. I feel ready to go. Dan Hardy is only 40 or 39, something like that. I'm not sure how old he is, but he's old in terms of MMA. Who should Islam fight next, Dariush or Chandler? RDA. But if I had to choose between those two, for what matchup I enjoy more, it would be Chandler. Guys, keep the questions coming. And if anybody wants to one-up Ginge and send me a super chat, I would greatly appreciate it. You can be the second ever stream that I received super chats on. Even if it's just $1. Let's see. I think Derek Lewis versus Gane fight is going to be boring. I don't know. It might be boring after the fact. I know that sounds stupid. But maybe not in real time, because there's always going to be that tension of Derek Lewis's power. So if we see Derek Lewis, he's just waiting, looking for that big shot. So I really think it could be a boring fight in the totality, but watching it in real time, I think will be exciting no matter what, because you're always just waiting for Derek Lewis to explode. But I really think Gane's game plan is going to be kind of stick to the outside, take Derek Lewis down, and eventually submit him. Do you remember Paul Craig versus Magomed Ankalaev, where he got submitted in the last seconds after dominating the whole fight, and now he is fighting as the main card? No, I don't remember that fight at all, actually. I'm going to have to look that up. What a win by Paul Craig recently, though. Great win. It's because I had to go to the bathroom because my mouth gets dry and I drink all this water. What time is it here? It's 9:40. What time? Okay, I already answered that. 11:30 here in Brisbane. Is that Australia? Where's that at? What's your pick between Hooker versus Nate at welterweight? I'd probably go Hooker, but I don't know. Nate's super durable. Guys, if anybody in here has friends that like MMA, send them my channel right now and tell them to go subscribe to the channel. Help me grow the channel. We're finally over 1,000 subscribers. The channel is doing very well, and just help me grow it even faster. I'd really appreciate it. Gall versus Williams, who wins? That's a tough fight. I don't know. I'm not really high on either guy. I'll probably go Mickey Gall. Dude, Dan Hardy was born in 1982. That's 39. Dude, can we stop talking about Dan Hardy's age? Dan Hardy is 39 years old, according to Google. So there you go. But thank you guys for arguing about that in the chat. I greatly appreciate it. It's pronounced Brisbane, Australia. Oh yeah, I know. I have heard of that before. Brisbane, Australia. Did you by any chance watch The Leftovers on HBO? Random question. The final season takes place majority in Australia. So I was just wondering. Guys, keep going with the questions. I will keep the stream going as long as we keep getting questions. We've already talked about TJ Dillashaw in length, so whatever else you guys want to talk about. Dan Hardy would make a great coach. Yeah, probably. He used to. I occasionally watch his breakdowns. He does a good job with breakdowns for fights. I usually watch those. Not all of them, but some of them. But he definitely knows a lot about the sport. But I was never a big fan of him in the commentary booth. I know some people are. He was always making cheesy jokes, and I don't know if that's something, a UK thing, but I really never enjoyed those cheesy jokes at all. Let's talk about Max Holloway potentially moving up to 155. Whew. I always wanted to see him, but after he performed against Dustin, I don't know how well he does. They should do Conor versus Dustin coaches. Hold on, let's talk about Holloway first. Guys, keep sending in questions while I talk about this Holloway. So Holloway moving up to 155. Let me tell you who I think he would beat at 155. There's a lot of fun matchups. Can you guys imagine Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje? That would be a fun fight. Beneil Dariush, I think Max could beat Beneil Dariush. I think Max would probably beat Michael Chandler. I think Max will lose to Islam Makhachev. I just think Islam probably be able to get him down. Max Holloway versus Tony Ferguson would be a fun fight. Tony Ferguson in a fight that a guy's not trying to take him down, but I would favor Max Holloway. I would favor Dos Anjos to beat Max Holloway. I would favor Max Holloway to beat Dan Hooker. I would favor Max Holloway to beat Conor McGregor. And I would probably favor Max Holloway to beat Gregor Gillespie just because we haven't seen Gregor Gillespie as a proven, so we'll see. But I think him moving up to 55, I don't know if he needs to, especially after what happened against Dustin. But if he could put on the weight properly, like over the course of a year. Elkins versus Minner, who you got? I got Minner, my friend. I think Minner is looking on the come up. Elkins just takes too much damage. I think he loses. They should do Conor versus Dustin as coaches on the Ultimate Fighter for his comeback, especially if Uncle Danis wants that fight again. I don't want to see that fight again, so I hope not. I hope all is going well with the channel, Alex. What do you think about Tony versus Hooker? I favor Tony. I think Tony would overwhelm Hooker eventually, especially if it's a 5-round fight. McGregor licking his lips. I see him returning early next year against Makhachev while he's still an incomplete fighter. Yeah, I don't know if he returns against Makhachev. Tanver Ali, my man, sending me one of my first 5 super chats ever. Every donation you guys send me in the super chat is going right into the channel. I'm buying the best microphone possible soon. I already got a decent microphone, but I just want to put as much quality into this channel as possible. Pretty soon, I don't know how soon this is going to be. I would say by the end of the year, probably, I am going to get a full setup. I already have this is this is what I call my office. It's just in my house. This is just an empty bedroom that I have a desk in and I have some stuff in the background. But eventually, I'm getting a full straight up streaming setup where I'm going to have a big screen TV so I can stream some bigger fights. I'm just really trying to up the game on my channel constantly, even though I only have 1,000 subscribers. So every single one of your donations, I'm dead serious. I know a lot of people say this. Every single donation is going right back into the channel. I want to build this channel. I enjoy doing this. So I appreciate you so much, Tanver Ali. $1, I appreciate it, man. Every single penny is just going right back into the channel. So I appreciate it very, very much. I don't know if you understand how much I appreciate it. To send a random guy that you just watch talk about MMA some of your hard-earned money, even if it's only $1, that means a lot to me, man. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. These guys would all take Max to the ground, I guess. Conor controlled Max on the ground, remember? Yeah, but I think Max has improved with his takedown defense. Very bad matchup for Gustafsson. I don't know what we're talking about there. Nah, I don't know I don't know if Holloway can beat Chandler. I think he could. I think Chandler would start to fade. Paul Craig going to submit him. I don't believe in Alexander Gustafsson anymore. So I probably Paul Craig, but it's hard to say. Gustafsson is hit or miss. Sometimes he looks world class, sometimes he doesn't. Max Holloway beat Alexander in the second fight. Max Holloway beat Alexander in the second fight. I had a 3-2. It was a close fight. I had it for Volkanovski, but a lot of people had it. Probably break his arm. Maybe. Holloway versus Hooker would be good. Yeah, I think it would be a good fight. I favor Holloway, though. I don't think Holloway beats Chandler. Chandler fights like Alexander, and we saw how much he struggled with him in Chandler. Yeah, but Chandler starts to fade. But we'll see. Let me skip over some of this real quick because I just seen another super chat. Robert Rutherford with the $5 donation. Man, I know it sounds crazy. I appreciate it so much, man. For you to like my content enough that you want to send me money online to help support the channel, it literally blows me away. And I know I sound like maybe I'm just probably being fake grateful or whatever. But, dude, I really do appreciate it, Robert Rutherford. You're the man. It means a lot to me, really, truly, truly. And you guys will see. I will keep up with this channel. I'm going to keep improving. I'm going to keep buying nicer stuff. The camera I bought for this channel right now that I'm talking to you guys through, before I even had any subscribers, roughly for everything I need between the body of the camera, the lens, the capture card, everything was probably $1,400 with 0 subscribers, basically. So, I'm just going to keep going and keep improving. So thank you so much, Robert. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me, man. The super chats mean a lot. And I always appreciate donations. It's going right back into the channel, my friend. So thank you again. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. It just encourages me to do more and more content. So thank you so much again, man. I had to get to that first. I saw that pop up. So thank you so much, my friend. I don't think Holloway beats Chandler. Chandler fights like Alexander Volkanovski. We saw how he... Okay, I already read that. But essentially what I was saying is Chandler starts to fade. And I think Max Holloway could take advantage of that. But we'll see. Chandler is a great fighter as well. Your stream quality is already amazing. Thank you, OG, man. I love hearing that. And I hope some of you guys watch my 4K videos. If I have extra time, because sometimes it takes a while to render out a 4K video, I always try to do 4K videos. So, because me personally, as a consumer of YouTube videos, watching YouTube videos, I hate when someone has shitty video quality. So, I hope you're enjoying my quality. Some of my videos are just full HD, but some of them are 4K. Matter of fact, let me know in the chat if you guys watch my 4K content. Like, if any of you guys watch it on like a 4K laptop or a 4K TV, I'm curious. Because some of my videos I do in 4K. So, I'm curious if people are watching them. And keep the questions coming, guys. I think Conor returns to a fight Tony. That's probably he sees it as a winnable. Honestly, I think it's the fight he could win too. I think he would definitely see it as a winnable fight. But also, I think that the matchup is a nightmare for Conor. Because what's Conor's biggest nightmare? Conor's biggest nightmare is a guy with a granite chin and unlimited cardio. And that's Tony Ferguson. So I think, okay, I already read that. If Holloway wants to fight Justin G, I think that fight would look like the Tony Ferguson fight. Yeah, I think Justin would beat him. Do you reckon the UFC gets so big eventually like NFL, soccer, etc., because it has grown a lot of accelerations that it has taken over and becomes woke, and we know how that turns out? I don't know, man. I don't know. I have no idea. It's hard to say. When you hit 10K subs, can we get a stripper pole behind you? Stripper pole dancing behind you? I don't know about that, my friend. I think Charles Oliveira beats Holloway too. Agreed. Yeah, I think Holloway should stay at 155. I feel like I got a hair in my mouth. Cejudo versus Ngannou is the fight the fans deserve. Okay, I'm down with it. I meant to say Chandler is a much better wrestler, not fighter. That's true. Chandler has called out Justin. Is that going to happen? No, that's not going to happen. Justin's going to fight for the title. Good night. It's 3 a.m. Tanver Ali, good night. It's okay. I already said it. Tanver Ali, thank you so much for the earlier super chat donation, my friend. Yeah, if you guys want a stripper pole in the background, make sure you keep sending them super chats, and then I can get the stripper pole and the stripper in the background. But I rely on super chats to support the channel, so you guys got to keep the super chats coming. Is anybody going to one-up Robert Rutherford with his $5 donation? Let's see if somebody can one-up him in this chat. I don't know if somebody's going to, but I'd like to see somebody one-up Robert Rutherford, and that way I can get a stripper pole for the background with a nice little super chat. Tanner Ali Ginge. I don't know what you're saying there, but good night, Tanver. I will be doing a fight companion live stream watch along tomorrow for TJ Dillashaw versus Cory Sandhagen. Feel free to join me. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a great main event. I love that main event. I can't wait for that fight. And I rarely say this, but I really want to see TJ Dillashaw lose. I just think it'd be good karma for what he tried to do to the flyweight division, and just overall, man, I just don't like cheaters. And I know a lot of people are doing it. A lot of people are caught with this and that. But I really would like to see Cory Sandhagen get a big win over TJ Dillashaw. And what a rebound for Cory Sandhagen after the Aljamain Sterling loss. I mean, look at that beautiful spinning wheel kick KO over Marlon Moraes. Look at the beautiful flying knee KO over Frankie Edgar. I mean, Cory Sandhagen, you know what's crazy? Cory Sandhagen, let me look this up before I say something dumb. Cory Sandhagen's almost entire UFC career of notable wins. Let's see. So, yeah, mostly all Cory Sandhagen's notable wins have been since TJ has been out. He fought on the same card as Cejudo versus Dillashaw on the prelims and beat Mario Batista. Then he got his first notable fight against John Lineker. Then he beat Rafael Sunsao. Then he lost to Aljamain. And then he got the 2 wins that I just mentioned, Marlon and Frankie Edgar. So, pretty much, Sandhagen has been going on a tear since TJ's been out. He was basically unknown within the UFC at the time TJ last fought, which is crazy. Oliveira has to fight someone soon. Who is it? Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier in November, December. What's your opinion on Kebab fighting again? I love that you called him Kebab. I don't think he ever fights again. If he does, it won't be for like a year or 2 years, 3 years. But I don't think he ever fights again, most likely. Cory looked clean in the weigh-in. He'll head kick TJ unconscious. I also think the way Cory flows is very, very good. But the one thing that I forgot to really mention in my pre-fight prediction is he is a little bit hittable. He keeps the hands low, and he does absorb some shots. Marlon Moraes was able to catch him a couple times, and I hope he doesn't. I hope he knows the caliber of fighter he's fighting in, TJ Dillashaw, and I hope he's tightened up some of those striking defenses. I'm really looking forward to this fight. And I hope that he does win. I'm really pulling for Cory Sandhagen in this fight. I don't want TJ Dillashaw, to be a cheater. And I think TJ Dillashaw is screwed either way. He's fighting a badass fighter in Cory Sandhagen. And the best TJ Dillashaw has ever been could lose to Cory Sandhagen. But if Cory Sandhagen comes out and destroys TJ Dillashaw, does everyone know what the narrative is going to be after he loses? Even if it's just Cory Sandhagen is that much better. Please put in the chat, what's the narrative going to be if Cory Sandhagen comes in and just beats the brakes off of TJ Dillashaw? I'm curious if you guys know where I'm going with this. Let me know. Let me know before I give you my finished thought on that. Let me know in the chat if you know where I'm heading with this. If you don't know, then you don't know. But I think it's pretty clear where I'm going with this. If Cory Sandhagen beats the brakes off of TJ Dillashaw, I'm waiting to see if anybody gets it, what I'm saying here, what I'm about to say. But it seems like nobody is. The narrative is going to be, it's because TJ is off the EPO. That's what it's going to be. And it could be the best TJ's ever been in his life tomorrow night. And Sandhagen could just be the better guy. But It's going to be the narrative. Oh, look how TJ looks without the EPO. That's what they're going to be the narrative there. That is going to be the narrative, guys. Let me see. Sorry, guys. Real Sports Talk with Alex. My friend. Thank you for the super chat, man. I know it seems like I'm saying the repetitive same thing to you guys, but I just have to highlight. I can't just gloss over it or anything like that. I mean, that's the point of the super chat. Keep up the good work. Great content. Real Sports with Alex. Alex, man, I really do appreciate it. I hope all is going well with your channel, man. It really, I know this sounds crazy just coming from some random stranger online, but you know, you said I inspired you to start a channel. That's crazy to me. So just the thought that, you know, I've been wanting to start a channel for probably 8 years now. But it's just like you're always in the back of your mind. You're nervous, man. It's like you're public speaking, you know. You're recording videos. You're putting it out in the public domain. It feels awkward. It feels nervous. I think right now all you're doing is audio. I've watched a couple of your videos. I don't know if eventually you're planning on going to video, man, but you've been doing a good job. I haven't paid super close attention. I've been busy trying to do everything that I'm doing, plus doing all the videos, dealing with real life, and then doing the videos. But to send a donation over to me, I just got my channel monetized like a week ago. To take $5 out of your hard-earned money and send it over to me to help my channel, it means a lot to me, man. It really does. Thank you so much, Alex. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. And I don't know if there's much more I can say. I hope all is well with your channel. I really do appreciate it. And if you need, I have a very expensive camera setup, but if you need any tips on the camera that I have, just let me know. So, and also, guys, if anyone on here doesn't follow me on Twitter, the link is in the description below. You guys should go follow me on Twitter. I'm trying to build my Twitter up. When I'm not doing live streams during certain events, I'm live tweeting them out. So, but Alex, what I can say about a channel and starting a channel, regardless of what you're talking about, the hardest part is starting. I mean, if you go back and look at some of my first videos, I look like I feel uncomfortable. I still feel like, I'm curious because I'm biased. I can't watch my videos and not be my own worst critic. Because sometimes I still watch back my videos and I think, look how awkward I am. So I hope I feel like I'm confident on camera by now. But I still look at myself and I say, look how awkward this guy is on camera. So it's hard. You're going to be your own worst critic, but all you can do is record videos, not care what anyone thinks. For me personally, I never let the bad negative comments get the best of me. There's nothing me and my friends haven't said haven't said worse to each other than some random really coming out. So audio, okay. Do you think the Fabia content got your channel rolling? Partially. I think I gained something like, I want to say, I got something like 300 subscribers off the Fabia content. So I don't know. I think what's really helped me a lot and I've really enjoyed doing is live streaming some of the fights. Because, I had like 6 subscribers and I was live streaming fights. You can request to be able to live stream. It takes like a day or two to give you approval. And I gained some subscribers off of there. And, my first big video was a video about, I want to say it was Hamzat Chimaev versus Nick Diaz. I was talking about it a little bit. Then my first big videos was Diego Sanchez versus Joshua Fabia. And what's crazy is I was one of the first people to do a video on it. And I did a very short video. I didn't include any clips. I didn't think anybody would really care about it. Some people were telling me on a live stream that I was doing that I should do a video on it. And I feel like if I would have made that video better, I could have got thousands of subscribers off of that. Because that would have been one of the first videos about the whole situation. I think I got like 3,000 views off of that. I never expected it. And then some more interesting stuff started to come out, and I started to do more videos about it. I want to say all told, I probably got 300 or 400 subscribers off the Fabia content. But, I'm not a guy that's going to keep spamming something if there's not pertinent details. And I've seen some other channels, I was looking at around online, and there were some channels that were really, like spamming that stuff, and that's never going to be me. So, but maybe so, maybe not. I don't know. So to answer your question, it helped definitely, but I don't know. I think live streaming helped a lot as well. Yeah, it's tough because I feel like it's not growing, but I also realize it's a process, and I'm getting more confident. Yeah, dude, it takes a while. My channel really got lucky, I think. Because I really expected, honestly, this is honest to God. I thought that it would take a year or two for me to really get, maybe, like, I remember saying, let me pull this up real quick. I said in one of my live streams, let me pull this up. I said in one of my live streams, I wanted to hit 200 subscribers by the end of May. And by the end of May, I had 728 subscribers. So I think it's really about hitting the right things. I think video is very important. I know you're doing audio only and you're probably doing some pictures in there, which works well for some people. But when I made my channel, I looked at it from my own perspective as a consumer. And I almost like getting to know the person talking. So like I felt like, for me, I feel like people want to connect to you. It's hard to do that when they just see your voice. And I know it feels uncomfortable getting on camera. I still feel a little bit uncomfortable, and I can't believe I do it. But, and by the way, I just seen a comment. Comment in the chat. What was the first video you saw of mine? Let me know. I'm really curious. So let me know in the chat. Comment right now, even if you're only just listening and you don't want to comment. What's the first video you saw of mine? But I think video is very important to get to know the person. I know there's plenty of channels that are successful without video, but I really believe it's important to have video and helps the channel grow more. But dude, don't give up. There's a lot of channels that do stuff. I did a lot of research on this for forever. Checking out smaller channels and a lot of people do stuff and they get discouraged and they just quit. You got to just keep going. There's plenty of people that maybe took them 2 or 3 years to get to 1,000 subscribers, and then after that they blew up. So I don't know what my channel has in store because I got to 1,000 subscribers very, very quickly. But we will see. We will see. And Alex, I appreciate the donation, man. I really do. I know I already said that, but the super chats always going right back into the channel, literally. You guys will see soon. I will be adding some, a new microphone, definitely. But yeah, let me know in the chat what's the first video you saw of mine. Because I just seen Robert Rutherford's comment. First video I saw of yours was Lewis vs. Gain title fight announcement. Let me know, Robert. Was that the first time you heard the news or no? I'm curious. Did you find out the news from me? It was Fabia content where I found you. That's funny, man. First video I saw was Live Fight 1. Keep those coming. Good commentary. Awesome, man. Awesome. So you watch the live fight stream. See, I think those help a lot. But yeah, the Lewis Gaines fight, the video did very good. I try to give my live reactions to these announcements. And I know there's some people who are negative. They comment, who cares about what you think? You're just some random guy online. I just like MMA and I like to talk about it. So I don't care what, if this guy wants to comment something negative. And, some people, I don't feel like there's very few honest people in the MMA space that are covering MMA in an unbiased way. And I try to be one of those. And I admit, I know there's bias with everyone, but it's about not really letting it affect what you say. And another guy that, I've watched for a while and I never, ever interacted, ever, because I was never a guy that interacted on any YouTube channels. I never participated in any live chats. I never commented on YouTube. But another guy that I actually look up to, his channel, James Lynch. I just mispronounced his name. he does very good work. He does a lot of interviews. He does his pro picks, which I've watched forever, which I think gets him a lot of traction as well. And he's a very unbiased guy, and you know, he actually subscribes to my channel, and I appreciate that. And you know, there's very few guys like that in the MMA space. I feel like, you know, I just feel like everyone's so biased. You know, I know I'm not talking about strictly media members. I'm talking about MMA YouTube channels in general. People who maybe are similar to my type of style, where they just kind of give their reaction. They're big fans and stuff like that, but they're just so biased. And I try to give you. I admit when I like a fighter. Like if I say, "Hey, I want XYZ to win," but I don't let it affect my predictions. I may want a guy to win, but I may say I think this guy is going to win. You know, like I didn't have a channel back when Conor and Dustin fought for the second time in January this year, but I really wanted to. I wanted Dustin to win, but I picked Conor. I was wrong, obviously, but I try not my bias get in the way of what I really think. You know, and even though some people say, "Oh, you're so biased," and blah blah blah, I try not to let that get in the way. What's up, Busters? What's going on, Torin Brown? I appreciate you joining us. What do you make of the MMA Guru? I've only seen a little bit of his videos. People have asked me about him. You know, he's kind of similar channel in a way to mine, so I guess I see the comparisons of, you know, it's just a fan kind of giving their reactions. From what I've seen, I mean, he does a good job. He picks all the fights and stuff like that. He's a smart, knowledgeable guy. But it's not, you know, it's not something I never knew about him before people started telling me, "What do you think of the MMA Guru?" So, and also, and I don't want to shit on anyone. Someone's probably going to send this to him and be like, "This guy's shitting on you," and I'm not shitting on him. I'm a quality guy, so I need better video quality. That's why my channel has such great video quality with a low subscriber count, because I could not do this with crappy video quality. So I'm not a big fan. What do you guys think of MMA Guru? I don't dislike him or anything. I just don't know enough about him to make an educated statement on him. I've seen a little bit from people telling me to go check him out. But I really can't say. What do you guys think about? I always ask this, but who knows? There's always different people in the chat. What is your guys' favorite MMA channel on YouTube? I'm curious. Let me know what your guys' favorite MMA channel is. But again, I'm just starting. I'm only 3 months in. This is only 3 months. Well, now it's 4 months because I started in April. So 4 months at the end of July. By the way, AT02, thanks for joining the chat. I know, you know, right now, there's so many more people in the chat watching than there is in the live chat typing questions and stuff like that. To you guys who are just watching right now, but you guys don't participate in the live chat, I appreciate you guys too. I really do. My favorite MMA channels on YouTube is Joey. Okay, so me and E-Money Picks. Awesome, man. I never heard of E-Money Picks. I'll have to go check it out. Ellis says possibly the Weasel. I've watched him. I've seen him. He's a guy that does pictures who's very successful. He does a good job. I haven't watched a lot, you know. I literally have no time to watch any MMA channels, because time that I'm watching other videos is times I could be making my own videos. So I'm not a guy watching not a lot of other MMA channels. So guys, keep putting questions in the chat. I want to try to make this at least a 2-hour live chat. Let's see. And also, I've said this a couple times already, but I'll say it again for anyone in here. If you guys have Twitter, check the description. I have the link to my Twitter in the description, and go follow me on there. When I'm not live streaming fights, I'm live tweeting them. So it's his breakdowns for me. I'll have to check them out. I've seen some of his videos before, but not enough to really remember. So if you guys have Twitter, check that link in the description. I'm actually tweeting out right now that I'm live on YouTube. But yeah, I'll check out the Weasel. I have not watched him recently, but I have seen some of his videos before. I did see a video recently. He was talking about the Conor injury. I did actually see that. He was trying to guess what the injury was or when it was caused within the fight. Uh, but he has a lot of subscribers. He has like 200, 300,000 maybe, I think, last time I saw. 200 or 300,000, I don't remember. But he does strictly pictures. Strictly pictures. So I try to do a very good job on my breakdowns. It seems like you guys like them, but you guys don't know how often. I don't script anything. And sometimes I do a prediction video, and then after it's over, I'm like, damn it, I forgot to say X, Y, Z. So I feel this way about biased YouTubers. Some YouTube channels love Dagestani Chechen fighters, despite little to no good fights like Chimaev Makhachev. Definitely. And then there's some channels that are biased against them. So I'm not a big fan of biased channels. So guys, keep throwing questions in the chat. Let's at least make this last 2 hours. We're on an hour and 45 minutes right now. Are you guys going to be joining me for the live fight stream tomorrow night? Let me know. Let me know that. And who is anybody picking TJ Dillashaw? I feel like this is a trap fight for Cory Sandhagen. Nobody's picking TJ Dillashaw. They're like, he's coming in off 2-year layoff. There's no way he's going to win. And I just feel like it's making me nervous now. So let me know if anybody in the chat right now is picking TJ Dillashaw to win tomorrow. I was one of the rare people who picked Henry Cejudo to beat TJ Dillashaw way back when. Nobody was picking Henry Cejudo to win that fight. I picked Henry Cejudo to win. I was very proud of that pick. That was the same year I was one of the very few to pick Usman to beat Tyron Woodley too. A lot of people were picking Woodley to win that fight. So I started off on a hot streak that year. I specifically remember. I still have a note in my phone of all my picks from that year. Alex, I got TJ. What makes you pick TJ? Just you're banking on him coming back as good as he ever was, and you think if he is as good as he was, he's going to win? And Torrin Brown is picking Dillashaw as well. I just don't see it. I think even if Dillashaw is as good as he ever was, I think Cory Sandhagen beats him. And supposedly, I've been seeing different stuff. Apparently, Cory Sandhagen used to beat TJ Dillashaw back in the day. They used to train together. So, I don't know. I don't know. Do you think Ring Rust will show? I don't know, man. I feel like Sandhagen's going to get him out of there quick. So I don't know if we're going to have time to find out. But that'll be the narrative afterwards for sure. If he does lose, it'll be the narrative, or they'll be like, is he off the EPO? Big G, are you going to come join us for the fight watch along tomorrow night or no? I think Torrin Brown is it what? Hold on, do you guys have the same name? I just realized. I think he will be faster and try to take him to the ground and try to submit him. Cory is too tall for TJ. Yeah, I think TJ is going to try to take him down, but I don't think he's going to be successful. TJ by no means is the same style grappler as Aljamain Sterling, and also, I think Cory Sandhagen has worked on his takedown defense substantially since that Sterling loss. To the point he even called Sterling out at one point that he wants that fight back badly. So I think he's worked on some of those deficiencies. I just think TJ is better all around despite the EPO. Either way, Yan beats both. Yeah, I don't know who beats Yan. If I had to pick one fighter to beat Yan, I just can't, because even if Sandhagen is the better striker than Yan, I would love to see Sandhagen versus Yan, but even if Sandhagen's the better striker, we've seen the level of grappling that Yan has. And I wonder if he could probably take Sandhagen down to the ground and beat him up. Look what he did to Aljamain Sterling, which was super impressive. He just dominated Aljamain Sterling. Okay, you'll be here tomorrow. Awesome, man. Awesome. I appreciate you guys who join me on these live chat. I said it a million times. I'm trying to do more live streams. I like talking to you guys. This one's going to be almost 2 hours. So do me a favor if you haven't already, like the live stream. If by any chance anybody's in here not subscribed, go subscribe. If anyone wants to send me a last minute super chat, You guys know how much I appreciate that. The donations to the channel have been awesome. I just can't believe it so far. It's blown me away. Alex, Ginge, I'm trying to remember who else. Alex, Ginge, Robert Rutherford, Tanver, all the donations throughout the chat, man. You guys don't know how much that means to me, seriously. It really means a lot to me, you know. So, but even if you're not donating to the super chat, make sure to like the stream. That's good enough, man. I don't expect that out of you guys. It means a lot when you do, but if you can just like the video, that helps me as well. If somebody's watching this live stream in the future, make sure to like the video. I appreciate you too. Andrew McLean, TJ all the way. Okay, man. So I didn't realize a lot of people were picking TJ. It looks like, 3 or 4 of you guys are picking TJ. I just don't see how he gets it done. Even if he's the best version of himself, I think Sandhagen's just better than him. If TJ loses, I think he needs to analyze leaving the sport. He wants the belt he never lost back. If he loses, he should fight Cody one last time and call it. I don't know, man. Sandhagen's so good. So I don't think he should leave the sport. And I don't think he's going to fight Cody. Cody's going down to flyweight. But that could happen in the future, though. Hi, you watching the Van Zant fight? No, I'm not. I understand if some people like it. But I'm not into the bare knuckle boxing, especially this matchup. It's not like it's a good fight by any means. Crazy KOs on the prelims. I'll have to check out the highlights at some point in time just to see what happened. How crazy it was. TJ aged too. Yeah, and TJ's an older guy. I mean, look, Sandhagen is, let me see, Sandhagen is 29, and TJ Dillashaw is, I think he's like 34. Let's see. TJ's 35. So TJ has 5 years left. He's been out for 2 years of his arguably prime. So he's getting older, 35 years old. I know guys can do well in an advanced age, but I just don't know if, at bantamweight that works. It might work out at light heavyweight. It might work out at heavyweight even. But, bantamweight, I don't think that age is gonna be effective. Let's see. Prelim's been fire lately. Let's see what we got here. How much was that? Did you have to pay for bare knuckle boxing? I'm curious. Dillashaw should move up to middleweight. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Paulo Costa. Give me TJ Dillashaw versus Paulo Costa. I'd be happy with that. Could you imagine? I'm not into freak show fights, but I've always been $39. But I've always been curious what it would look like a flyweight, like Mighty Mouse fighting Francis Ngannou. Morbid curiosity. $39 for the bare knuckle boxing with a pay-per-view of Rachel Ostovich versus Paige Van Zant. Who is paying that? No offense for anybody who is. Okay, thank you, MCC. Thank you, because I can't believe that anybody's paying for that. If you guys are paying $40 for bare knuckle boxing, send me a super chat for at least $20. If you got money like that, I'll give you at least 2 hours of good conversation about MMA. I got BKFC on free streams 1. Well, there you go. Ginge hooking people up. Ginge, I thought you disappeared on me, to be honest. You want to talk about Vicente Luke? Huh, Ginge? Donald Cerrone would be good at heavyweight. Brown, what are you, just trolling now, my friend? Who wants to talk about Vicente Luke versus Michael Chiesa? I'm really excited for Luque versus Chiesa. That should be a really fun fight. It's all about, can Luke or Luque stop the takedown? I'm really interested in that fight, and it's not that far away. That's happening in a couple weeks, I believe, on UFC 265. Let me look up UFC 265 real quick. Derek Lewis versus Cyril Gane. Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena. Jose Aldo versus Pedro Munoz should be amazing. Should be amazing. That fight card's filthy. That fight card's filthy. I love this fight card. And there's other great fights on the card too, but that's the majority, the main. He can definitely make heavyweight. He can get fat. Ginger, you laughing right now? Are you laughing? What were some of those other pronunciations? Let's see. Let's see. Guys, keep the questions coming. Keep the questions coming. I'll literally stay on this live stream as long as you guys have questions coming. Just surely based on the facts you guys are donating to me makes me want to stay on here for as long as possible just because I appreciate you guys. Let's see. Vicente Luke. We're dumb. The only way to watch Vincent Ostovich online to purchase a pay-per-view stream for $39.99, and that's from Yahoo Sports. Yeah, I'm sure you can find it somewhere for free. I won't condone that on this channel, though, because I don't want to get banned. Luque fights wild. It's always fun, but if Chiesa holds guard all fight and does nothing, it could suck. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be happening. I think it's going to be a fun fight. I think it'll be a mix. And Luque has decent jiu-jitsu as well. I don't know who I'm picking in that fight. Sometimes when I see a fight coming up, I get nervous about doing predictions because sometimes I just don't know who to pick. I go back and forth. I jump back and forth on who I'm picking. Yeah. To be honest, I know this sounds crazy. If I could watch it for free right now, legally, I wouldn't even turn it on. I don't care. I mean, neither one of those were even good UFC fighters. Why do I want to see them bare knuckle box? Where does Kevin Lee fit into all this? Kevin Lee is fighting Sean Brady at welterweight. I think in a couple weeks. I think he got moved up. Let me see. It was at UFC 264. What the hell did I just do? Somehow I got rid of the chat. Now I don't know where it's at. Guys, do you know how I get the chat back? I just got rid of the chat somehow. Now this is making me mad. Now I'm going to have to pull up my video. Somehow I got rid of the chat on the live stream. Let me make sure this is muted. And now I can't see your guys' chat. Let's see. I think Kevin Lee beat Sean Brady. I'm in YouTube Studio. And I accidentally got rid of the chat. What do I do now? Does anybody know? It's completely disappeared at this point. I accidentally scrolled and somehow the chat disappeared. I can pull up the video and watch, but now I can't see. Okay, here we go. I'm back. I don't know how that happened. I really don't. Brady is nasty. How does Kevin Lee fit into the missing chat? Cobra Commander, thanks for joining us. As long as you guys keep being here asking questions, I will keep doing this chat. Let me see something. How did this happen? Where the hell was that from? But yeah, Sean Brady should be an interesting fight. Sean Brady looks interesting at welterweight. Kevin Lee has, looked like a world beater at sometimes, and other times, it's just looked terrible. So, do I have Instagram? No, I do not have an Instagram yet. I will make one soon. I'm still growing the channel. In the description is my Twitter. Go follow me on Twitter. I don't even have 100 followers on Twitter yet. So, if you guys, sometimes when I'm not streaming the fights, if you want to see my live tweeting reactions, just follow me on there. Have a good night, everyone. Catch you later. Alex, have a good night, man. Thank you again for that super chat. It means a lot. Donating to the channel really means a lot. I will see you tomorrow if you feel like stopping by and watching the live stream for Dillashaw versus Sandhagen. Thank you for joining us tonight. Guys, fill the chat up with questions. Come on. Come on. There's so many of you guys in here. And no one's throwing any questions in the chat. You just like to hear me talk. Give me something to talk about. You know? But I think Brady can beat Kevin Lee. I'm pissed that we lost that fight on UFC 264. It is almost 10:30 where I'm at right now, but I'm just powering through it. We can make this a 3-hour stream if you want. I'm not even that tired right now. So, whatever you guys want to do. Lee versus Brady, that's a pick'em fight to me. Who do you think? I'll probably go Kevin Lee, but Kevin Lee's coming off multiple surgeries. He's very inconsistent. Brady's looked very, very good, but he hasn't really fought great competition yet. But I'll go with Kevin Lee right now. But I might change my mind. But I'll say Kevin Lee, just based off experience. But again, he's coming off, I think, double ACL surgery. And he's moving up weight. So I think it could be a big win for Sean Brady if he's able to pull it off. What did you make of Gamrot's performance against Stevens, and do you think he can beat anyone in the top 5? It was an impressive performance. With that being said, I don't know what it tells us. It was so quick. I'm not high on Jeremy Stevens at all. I don't think Jeremy Stevens is that good of a fighter. I think you could arguably get rid of him, from the UFC. And, it was an impressive performance. But look, Jeremy Stevens hasn't won a fight in years. So, let me tell you, do I think he can beat anyone in the top 5? Did you say top 5 or top 10? Let me say. Top 5. You said top 5. Do I think he can beat anyone top? No, I'm not ready to say that right now. Maybe Islam Makhachev. What do you think about Jake Paul versus the Spider? I'm not going to watch it. I'm happy those guys are getting paid. I'm happy Anderson Silva is going to make money, but I'm a big fan of Anderson, but I'm not watching. I'm not ordering. I don't really have an appetite for those freak show fights or boxing matches. Rockhold fight, who do you got? What are you saying, Rockhold versus Hill? Who do I want to see him fight? I'm down with anybody. Rockhold, give me Rockhold versus Paulo Costa. That'd be a fun fight. You give Rockhold versus Vettori. It'd be a fun fight. You've been live for 2 hours, Joey. Yes, I have. So if you guys want me to keep going, throw some more questions. But if not, then stop asking questions and I'll get off right now. And we'll see you tomorrow for the live stream. Is there any fight worth watching on Saturday other than the main? Yes, there is. Let me pull up the card, but off the top of my head, I really like Adriana Yanez versus Randy Costa or Costa, however you pronounce it. I'm really high on Yanez. I think he looks very good. The bantamweight division is stacked. This card isn't crazy good, but there's some quality fights on the card. You also have Kyler Phillips versus a guy's name I can't pronounce. Kyler Phillips has looked really good, but it's hard to say. I'm not really all that excited for Miranda Maverick versus Macy Barber. Neither one of those girls are ever doing anything at flyweight. So, to answer your question, Yanez versus Randy Costa should be a great fight. That opens the main card. Darren Elkins versus Derek Minner should be a fun fight, but Elkins is just, what's that really going to answer for us? Let's see what's on the prelims. I forgot. Nasserindi Imavov versus Ian Heinisch is a decent fight. But I think it's a good fight for the prelims, but it's nothing that gets me super excited. You got Mickey Gall also fighting. So you have a few fights, that are good. I'm going to watch the majority of the card. I try to watch the majority of the card. So there's some decent fights. I definitely would check out the main card, especially considering you got Adrian Yanez versus Randy Costa. I'm really looking forward to that fight, both two upcoming prospects. Thoughts on Ngannou drama with the UFC? I think they'll figure it out. The only reason I'm really upset about the interim title fight between Derek Lewis and Cyril Gane is because I wanted to see Ngannou fight both those guys in the near future. So, Secret Juice versus Samurai would be great. Okay. Who do you think has the highest ceiling? Sarukian, Fizev, or Riddell? I'm going to say Fizev. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He looks so good. I'm very high on him. He's one of the rare guys that I look at his skill set, and he almost looks, and I hate to say this because there's no evidence of it, but he looks like he could be a championship caliber fighter. He hasn't fought anyone yet, so that's still yet to be determined, but he just looks so good. I think he'll break into that top 10 eventually. Jeremy Stevens' last win against Josh Emmett at UFC on Fox 28, February 24th, 2018. So it's been 3 years since he won a fight. UFC needs to cut Jeremy Stevens. I don't like what he did with the hold your car close. When is Gastelum fighting? I think he's fighting Jarrett Cannonier in August. Uriah Hall versus Sean Strickland. Correct me if I'm wrong. Guys, I really want you to hold me accountable in this. Is Uriah Hall versus Sean Strickland a quality enough to be a main event for the UFC on any type of card? Because I don't think it is. I'm not excited for that fight. I don't even barely want to do a prediction video on it. I mean, it's a decent fight to fill out a card, but a main event? Ugh. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong in the chat. Is Uriah Hall versus Sean Strickland a UFC caliber main event? Because I don't think it is. But I'll probably go with Uriah Hall. Okay, thank you. I wanted to know if I was crazy or not. Interested seeing Francis versus Tyson Fury in bare knuckle fighting championship? No, not at all. I see nothing wrong with Jeremy Stevens did. He pushed a guy that was not expecting it, and then he's injured, can't fight, and then he talks shit about him. No, I don't support that. You can support that if you want. I think it's stupid. I think it's meatheadish. I'm not a big fan of attacking each other at the weigh-ins. You guys are going to fight each other in 24 hours. Why even? It's stupid to me. But if you want to support that type of behavior, you can. The guy's on a 5-fight losing streak or something like that. Hasn't won a fight in 3 years, as somebody mentioned. As you mentioned. So cut him. I agree it's not a main event. Thank you, Ginge. Yeah, Strickland pushes forward always. It's at least fun. No technical fight. Yeah, it should be interesting. But it's just a card. It's a fight that can fill out a card. It's not a main event. I forgot. I think there was something else that was originally supposed to be that main event, and for whatever reason, it ended up happening. When they make up interim belts for nothing, it takes away from the real belts. Agreed. I agreed. It kind of devoids the merit of the real belt, but I don't think it does anything super harmful to the sport. I don't like it personally. I complained about it when it originally happened, and I still don't like it. But all it is a promotional tool for the UFC to promote the fight card with. That's it. It means nothing. It's meaningless. Who do you think is most likely on the juice? Izzy, Usman, or Ngannou? I'll say Izzy just because of the guy now. Uriah Hall, Sean Strickland will be a good main event for the prelims. Agreed. Like the prelims of a pay-per-view. Well, if Watterson was main event, what do you expect? Exactly. That was a terrible main event as well. So, Watterson gets a lot of hype, and she's not even that good, in my opinion. So, but the UFC does this sometimes. I mean, they just have a schedule to fill. I don't want to miss a prediction video for a main event on my channel, but I don't even want to do a prediction video on that fight. That's how disinterested I am in Uriah Hall versus Sean Strickland. But I'm glad some of you guys agree with me that it's not really main event quality, but it is on par with some of the main events the UFC has done in the past, like Watterson versus, who was that? I can't remember her name. Rodriguez. Sean Strickland versus Kevin Holland would be good. Yeah, that'd be a decent fight. That'd be a decent fight for sure. I can't believe I had lost the chat for a second. I don't know what the hell happened there. So, do you think Brandon Moreno is overrated? What do you think about his fight with Figgy? I don't think he's overrated, but I don't know. I found that fight very weird. Figgy had nothing to offer. I love Brandon Moreno. He seems like a great guy. He seems like a fun champion. He's very highly skilled. I didn't like how I seen a quote. I didn't watch this, so correct me if I'm wrong. Something basically saying Figueroa doesn't deserve the trilogy, but he wants to fight Cody Garbrandt. If that isn't the most hypocritical thing I've ever heard. So I didn't like that. I don't think Moreno is overrated, but I think there's a chance the flyweight belt bounces around. You got Askar Askarov in the division. You got Alex Perez, who looked good, even though he did lose to Figgy. I think Waterson main event was due to actual main event falling apart. What card was that? Was that the original TJ Dillashaw, Cory Sandhagen card? Let me look that up real quick. Michelle Waterson. I think that might have been the original TJ Dillashaw Cory Sandhagen card. Let me check that out real quick. Yes, it was. That was the card where TJ was supposed to fight Cory Sandhagen and it fell out. I think Waterson. Okay, yeah, I already read that. I thought it was rigged. Figgy was way below average. Yeah, it was a weird fight. I don't think it was rigged, but it was a weird fight. Is anyone a Chris Martino fan after O'Malley fight? Herb Dean blew that stoppage. The guy came to fight. I'm a fan. I hate to see him take so much damage. I thought the stoppage was stupid, but it is what it is. It's not a hill I'm going to die on crying about it, but I don't think it was a good stoppage. It made no sense. And if he was going to stop it for accumulated damage, he could have stopped it in the second or first round as well. So it's just inconsistencies. But I'm definitely a fan after that fight. He came to fight. Who do you think will be the next pay-per-view star after Conor? There isn't anyone who's currently selling over 1 million other than Conor. If Sean O'Malley can become champion, I think Sean O'Malley will sell over 1 million pay-per-views. Let's see. Who else can become... I think Usman, the people are going to probably criticize me for that. If Usman can keep winning like another 2 fights, I think he can become a big draw. I don't know if he can hit 1 million, but he can become a big star. Other than that, I think Izzy can make that step. Izzy's already doing very well. But there you go. There's a couple answers for you. I think also Islam, if Islam can become champion, I think he could be a big star. Yeah, he cut his eyebrow. That was when I first started my channel, and I did a video on that. I think he should move up weight and fight Cody. He cut a lot of weight. Cody's coming down to flyweight. And I don't know. See, everyone keeps saying Devison should move up to bantamweight. I don't know if he's going to succeed at bantamweight. Let me go through the bantamweight fighters and tell you who I think he would win against. He would lose to Aljamain Sterling. He would lose to Petr Yan. He would probably lose to Cory Sandhagen. He would lose to Rob Font. Jose Aldo would be interesting. I think he loses to Jose Aldo. I think he could beat Cody Garbrandt, who's currently number 5 in the bantamweight division, but he's moving down to flyweight. I think he could possibly win the Marlon Moraes fight, but I think Marlon Moraes wins. I think Frankie Edgar beats him. I think Pedro Munoz beats him. I think he could potentially beat Dominic Cruz. And I think he probably loses to Merab Davishvili. So I don't think moving to bantamweight is the answer for Devison. I think there's too many great fighters at bantamweight. So it's going to be tough for him. It's going to be tough for him for sure. I don't know if he can get like what a nutritionist or something like that and kind of make the weight easier, because he just seemed off that night. You know, he just had nothing to offer. I think maybe he thought he was going to go in and steamroll Brandon Moreno, and he didn't. I think he can beat Sean O'Malley for sure. But I don't think that fight will happen, so that doesn't matter. No, Brandon said that about Figgy. He said that Figgy should move up and fight Cody. Is that what you're saying? I know he was talking about fighting Cody, so. Guys, keep with the questions. Come on. It seems like we're slowing down on the questions. So, big star question mark. It has to be someone loud and gets fans hyped. Yeah, I think Sean O'Malley, if he continues to win, he could be a big star. Do you like Sean O'Malley's newest tattoo? No, I do not. But I don't really care what he gets on his tattooed on his body. Barboza versus Chikaze, who wins? Early prediction, I go Barboza, but that's going to be a good fight. I'm really, really excited for that featherweight fight. All right, guys, it seems like we're running out of questions here. I will be on live to watch TJ Dillashaw versus Cory Sandhagen tomorrow night. So you guys should come join me for the live stream tomorrow night. I appreciate everybody who donated in the super chat. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. I appreciate everyone who liked the video. It means a lot. It's really supporting the channel, helping the channel grow. If you're watching this in the future on the replay, make sure to like the video as well. I appreciate every single one of you. And I'm going to answer these last two questions before I leave now because I just seen them pop up. Moreno is a great guy, but unfortunately he won't sell. Figgy was a potential superstar at flyweight who KOs people is rare. Moreno could get a lot of backing from Mexico, so he could become a star. Jose Aldo versus Edson Barboza. That'd be a fun fight. I'd go Jose Aldo. See you tomorrow night. Thanks, Joey. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone who asked a question tonight. Appreciate everyone who watched. Join me tomorrow night to watch TJ Dillashaw versus Cory Sandhagen. Everybody have a great night.